Welcome to Hidden Horizons, a channel where we explore the most intriguing and overlooked stories from world history. Journey with us through the whispers of time as we reveal the marvels and mysteries that have shaped our world. If you find these journeys as captivating as we do, please like and subscribe to help support more immersive explorations into the past. In this video, we travel to Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island, to uncover the story behind its mysterious stone giants and the people who transformed their lonely island home. Discover how their ingenuity and perseverance shaped not just the land, but their destiny, and learn what their triumphs and tragedies reveal about humanity's bond with nature and survival. Chapter 1. Arrival on the Lonely Shores. In the midst of the endless southern sea, a secluded patch of land rises from the waves. It is Rapa Nui, remote, windswept, and shrouded in legend. Few places are as isolated, surrounded by nothing but blue horizons and restless skies. The air carries a salty coolness, rustling through untouched forests and mysterious ancient rocks. The first human eyes to see these lonely shores belonged to master Polynesian navigators. Guided by stars, wind, and the flight of birds, they sailed across thousands of kilometers of open water, searching for a new home beyond the edge of the known world. Their arrival was not a moment of conquest, but of deep wonder and awe at discovering land where none had seemed to exist. Stepping onto Rapa Nui, the voyagers found a world untouched by human hands. Thick palm forests swayed beneath soft mist, and birds filled the air with their calls. The land was fresh and silent, marked only by the wind's whisper and rhythm of the ocean against ancient volcanic shores. Each step echoed with the sense that this island would shape their future. The geography of Rapa Nui was both inviting and mysterious. Rolling hills rose gently from volcanic craters, while deep caves dotted the landscape like secrets waiting to be uncovered. The coastline shifted between dramatic cliffs and quiet sandy bays. Everything here was new and wild, and survival would require the careful reading of every signal from land and sea. For the early settlers, the isolation was profound. Rapa Nui sat alone in the deep Pacific, farther from any continent than almost any other inhabited place on Earth. There were no rescue ships or distant neighbours to call upon. Their world became this single island, a circle of green surrounded by an endless wilderness of water, with all hope and livelihood held within its shores. Yet within this isolation, possibilities bloomed. The settlers brought knowledge from across the sea, seeds, tools, memory of how to coax food from stubborn ground, and how to build shelter from forest and stone. Every day was a test of resourcefulness. The landscape was both a challenge and an invitation, and the community's survival would depend on harmony with every living thing. Morning light revealed a new world for the settlers. Dew shimmered on ferns, and gentle rain fed hidden streams winding through forests. The first shelters rose along clearings with careful thought, using palms and stone for strength. Life was simple and focused, guided by the necessity to live in rhythm with the land, to watch the seasons, and to share in each new discovery together. Night on Rapa Nui brought mystery. Mists curled across the earth as stars emerged in a vast, unbroken sky. Stories began at firesides, memories of faraway islands, songs of gods and ancestors. Even in isolation, the settlers dreamed. Their hopes took root like seeds in volcanic soil, driven by the desire to build something lasting in this enigmatic place separated from the world. Long days of exploration followed. Small groups journeyed through forests and climbed volcano slopes to watch the ocean's endless horizon. Each discovery new plants, stones, or fresh water carried meaning. The island was wild and unpredictable, but slowly the settlers learned its rhythms. With every passing season, they grew more at home, and the contours of their existence came clear. From the swirling mists of their first landfall, the people of Rapa Nui began a remarkable story. Their ingenuity, hope, and courage would shape a society capable of moving mountains, quite literally. In this untouched world, the quest for harmony with nature had begun, and with it, the first chapters of triumph, challenge, and wonder that would echo across centuries. Chapter 2. The Sculptor's Vision. Dawn breaks over the island, casting long shadows against fields of volcanic stone. Here, artisans gather with an unspoken sense of purpose. Each hand selects a tool purposefully, the ancient rock waiting to reveal its secrets. These men and women are more than workers. They are sculptors entrusted with shaping the spirits of their ancestors into colossal form. The air is thick with anticipation as the first chisels meet stone. The sculptors move in silence, every tap and scrape echoing across the quarry. Generations of wisdom guide their hands, transforming raw volcanic rock into the beginnings of a moai. The process is meditative, slow, repetitive, and entirely focused. As dust drifts in the sunlight, each artisan pours both pride and reverence into their work, their efforts honouring not just the past, but the dreams of all who will come after them. Towering above the workers, unfinished moai watch patiently, their features emerging with each stroke. The faces hold determination and hope, blending human skill with something sacred. These statues are more than monuments. They are vessels linking earth and sky, bridging the living and the spirits beyond. In this ritual of creation, the people of Rapa Nui find unity, their shared ambition rising from the very rock beneath their feet. The community gathers around the sculptors, chanting softly in rhythms that echo through the quarry. Children watch with wide eyes as elders share stories woven into every moai. Prayers drift into the wind, meant to guide the spirits dwelling within each stone. As tools strike and sparks scatter, the entire village feels the weight of tradition and possibility anchoring them to the island and to each other. Carving the moai is a dance between the past and future. Each chisel stroke is shaped by ancestral memories and hope for island prosperity. The artisans carve enormous heads and elongated bodies, guided by visions rooted in Rapa Nui oldest legends. They believe these statues will watch over crops and families, securing good fortune in times to come. In the flurry of creation, reverence for the unseen world is never forgotten. The work is arduous. Sun scorches bare backs and dust clings to every inch of skin. Yet, no one complains. The moai are sacred, and their completion is an honour as well as an obligation. Every muscle aches with dedication. There is a quiet determination in their eyes, a shared understanding that this labour binds them together, forging a deeper connection with both ancestors and the mysterious land they call home. When evening falls, the sculptors step back, admiring the giant faces forming in the cliffside. Shadows flicker, giving the statues an otherworldly presence. In whispered circles, the artisans reflect on what they've created, rock and spirit fused by patience and trust. They carry the stories of their craft into every meal and moment, feeling the ancestors' approval in the gentle island breeze that sweeps through the stone fields. Spiritual beliefs infuse every aspect of the moai's creation. Before the first stone is carved, offerings are made to the gods. Rituals seek protection and wisdom for the arduous task ahead. The sculptors consider the moai living entities, imbued with ancestral power. They regard each statue as a guardian, its silent gaze vital to the well-being of the entire community. Faith fuels their ambition, shaping both the statues and the souls who create them. Great ceremony surrounds the completion of a moai. Community members gather with song and gifts, celebrating months, even years, of work. As flowers are draped around the base of each new guardian, prayers of gratitude fill the air. The statues, standing tall and stoic, become beacons of shared spirit and hope. Their presence marks a bond between generations, memories chiselled in stone for all who inhabit Rapa Nui. With every new moai raised, the landscape shifts. Forests begin to thin as timber is hauled for moving these giants. The island's face is forever changed, reshaped by human hands and ancient dreams. Even as resources dwindle, the community persists, driven by reverence and a longing to fill the coastline with silent watchers. The moai bear witness to human ambition, their shadows stretching further with each passing generation. The awe inspired by the moai is timeless. At dawn, their profiles glow softly. At dusk, they fall into silhouette against the sea. Villagers gather at their bases, telling stories by firelight, whispering legends of creation, protection, and the distant ancestors whose wisdom shaped the stones. For the people of Rapa Nui, each moai stands as a reminder of who they are, and of the fragile balance between survival and spiritual devotion. As this chapter closes, we see that creating the moai is an act of both reverence and transformation. Rapa Nuis, People have poured their hopes, fears, and faith into stone, reshaping their world in the process. The giant statues stand sentinel, timeless figures gazing toward horizons unknown. Their presence is a legacy and enduring testament to the sculptor's vision and the mysterious bond between art, spirit, and the land itself. Chapter 3: Triumph and Transformation. The coastline of Rapa Nui stirs with purpose as figures move among the windswept cliffs. This is the island's golden age, where unity and shared vision rise with each towering moai. Families and clans work together in silent rhythm, ropes straining, wooden sledges groaning beneath stone giants. These great statues begin to line the shore, gazing inland, bearing silent witness to a civilization at the peak of its heavy footsteps echo across damp earth as hundreds join forces, their chants bracing the morning air. Ropes grip stone and hands grip ropes, muscles aching from the effort. Layer by layer, moai move from the quiet quarries to the sacred ahu platforms. Their painstaking journey becomes a dance of hope, each statue's upright arrival a triumph. These mighty figures now stand sentinel, telling the world of Rapa Nui's dreams and collective ingenuity. The entire island feels transformed by these feats. The horizon, once bare and wild, is now crowned by monolithic faces. People gather at dawn and dusk, offering tributes and songs to their ancestors now memorialized in stone. Around the moai, communal life flourishes, crops are harvested, rituals performed, and stories handed down about the heroes who moved mountains. Each day, the islanders' connection to these statues grows ever deeper, yet beneath the celebration, Rapa Nui is quietly changing. Forests that stretched across the island begin to thin. Trees long used for their sturdy trunks and precious shade are felled for moai transport or cleared for expanding fields. The songs of birds fade from groves now eerily silent. The people adapt quickly, reshaping their customs and daily rhythms, but each new moai carries a hidden cost for the landscape that has sheltered them for centuries. Fields widen as more trees vanish, and the air grows thick with the scent of tilled earth. New gardens sprout where forests once stood, promising fresh harvests amid changing winds. The people learn to coax life from depleted soils, developing ingenious farming techniques to sustain their growing population. Although the moai rise as symbols of power and pride, some elders grow watchful and cautious, sensing that the land, too, wants to have its story heard. With prosperity comes grandeur. Ceremonies grow longer and festivals more vivid, light from torches flickering over the faces of ancestors carved in stone. Children listen to tales of the first moai and imagine their own feats awaiting in adulthood. From cliff to field, the spirit of innovation flourishes. Still, behind every celebration lingers the questions: can abundance last forever? At what point does triumph begin to strain the heart of the island itself? Resourceful minds turn to engineering challenges. Without strong timber, moving the moai grows ever harder. Sledges groan beneath the weight, and creative new methods emerge, rolling stones or sliding statues atop layers of reeds. Every solution is born of necessity, every innovation a sign of changing times. The community rallies, proud of its ingenuity, but also more aware of the delicate balance now demanded by their island home. As traditions flourish, tensions quietly ripple through daily life. Competing clans strive for the tallest, most impressive moai, fueling rivalries alongside unity. While some welcome innovation and expansion, others worry about emptying forests and vanishing birds. Quiet fireside debates whisper of limits, testing old alliances and creating the first shadows across the island's golden age. The moai gaze steadily on, witnessing every step in humility and grandeur. The sights and sounds of Rapa Nui's transformation remain vivid. Workers' voices rise above grinding stone, laughter echoing across newly cleared fields. Children dart between the unfinished giants, their playfulness a living reminder of hope. But sometimes, on quiet nights, the oldest among them remember thick canopies and forgotten springs. Stories gently shift, asking whether progress and memory can truly grow side by side, or if something precious must always be left behind. Time carves its own story upon the land. With each new moai hauled into place, the horizon subtly changes. Paths once hidden beneath leaves become broad tracks, and the groves that sheltered songbirds diminish with each generation. Yet for now, Rapa Nui shines. Its vibrant society pulses with music, craft and collaboration, the towering Moai casting long shadows across fields, both as guardians and as reminders of the cost woven through every triumph. From the heights of ambition, gentle warnings drift through the community. Storytellers and elders gather children, speaking quietly of sacred places lost and resources spent. Rituals of gratitude and caution mingle with joyful feasts. The islanders' relationship with their land now holds complexity equal parts, gratitude, awe, and uncertainty. Beneath steady stars, Rapa Nui listens as the past and future begin a conversation, shaping the past and future begin a conversation, shaping the path ahead for all. As this chapter closes, the golden age of Rapa Nui stands radiant and bittersweet. The Moai remain testaments to unity, vision, and sacrifice. Together, the community has transformed its world, but also sown the seeds for new challenges to come. On the threshold between triumph and tension, the island waits and wonders. What does it truly mean to thrive, and what must be remembered when the cost of greatness gently takes root? Chapter 4. The collapse unfolds. Across the wind-swept plains of Rapa Nui, once vibrant fields lie withered under a relentless sun. Trees that once shaded the island's hills have all but disappeared, replaced by barren earth and harsh winds. The people gather what little remains, their faces marked with worry and weariness. Shadows fall across toppled Moai, silent witnesses to mounting hardship and the changes reshaping their world. Famine tightens its grip as stores of food run low. No longer able to hunt birds or harvest abundant fruits, families go hungry. Streams that once sparkled have dried to trickles, while fishing yields dwindle near the now bleak shores. Hunger breeds frustration, and gentle conversations become tense, whispers filled with fear. Survival on Rapa Nui, once routine, has turned into a daily battle fraught with uncertainty and pain. With resources scarce, old alliances fracture. Leaders, once respected, face open defiance as hope fades. Quarrels erupt among clans, each vying for what little is left. Friendships and kinships strain to breaking. The rich culture of feasts and gatherings gives way to suspicion and guarded stares. The people who once raised the mighty Moai together now find themselves divided, the spirit of unity battered by hardship and mistrust. The Moai, proud stone giants, become somber symbols of these troubled times. Many stand toppled, pushed from their platforms in acts of anger or despair. Once objects of reverence, they now reflect the fissures running through society. Erosion eats away at their features as fields around them lie empty, and dust blows through abandoned gardens. The fallen statues embody a world out of balance, caught in the grip of its own undoing. Coping with loss, islanders turn inward, clinging to memories of prosperity. Elders recount tales of lush forests and plentiful harvests, voices tinged with longing for the past. Meanwhile, younger generations know only struggle, growing up in a landscape stripped of its former abundance. The stories become both comfort and warning, echoing across firelit circles as the fabric of tradition frays under relentless pressure and the threat of extinction looms ever closer. Hills erode steadily, their soil carried away by wind and rain now unbroken by roots. Homes once nestled among trees lie exposed, battered by salt and sun. The island's changing face becomes a daily reminder of choices made and paths taken. Villagers mourn the loss not only of materials and food, but also of shelter and security. In this harsh new world, their resilience is tested like never before, hope flickering in the shadows of despair. The collapse does not happen all at once, but unfolds in painful, lingering waves. Each year brings greater desperation as tradition can no longer hold back the forces of hunger and conflict. Old rituals lose their meaning as survival becomes the only concern. Still, some cling to belief, gathering around cracked altars hoping for the return of better days, even as the land around them continues to wither and fade into silence. Among the ruins, moments of resilience shine through. Families share what little they have, bound by loyalty and the wisdom of their ancestors. Simple acts of kindness. Offering food, sharing stories, tending the sick become lifelines against the darkness. These small gestures ignite sparks of hope, reminding everyone that community endures even when the world seems bleak, and that the heart of Rapa Nui still quietly beats amid the scars. As scarcity deepens, the islanders' relationship with their environment changes. Where once they shaped the land with ambition, now they are shaped by its limits. Dreams of rebuilding forests drift away like fallen leaves. Adaptation replaces mastery, each day a lesson in humility. In the face of irreversible change, people come to terms with the idea that nature's power surpasses even the most monumental human effort and vision. Some leaders attempt to rally their people, urging them to find unity in crisis. Gathering beneath battered banners, elders recall the power of cooperation that once built the Moai. With quiet determination, small groups strive to revive what traditions they can, hoping that a shared purpose might stem the tide of despair. Even with little left to give, the spirit of renewal flickers faintly, offering a fragile lifeline amid the wreckage of collapse. Night descends quietly over Rapa Nui, bringing calm to a landscape scarred by upheaval. The people huddle around their fires, seeking comfort in the warmth and in each other's company. The Moai guard the darkened hills, silent and watchful, bearing witness to both the suffering and enduring hope of their creators. In darkness, dreams persist a longing for a world restored and the wisdom to avoid the mistakes of the past. As dawn breaks over the island, gentle light reveals the resilience that endures among the people of Rapa Nui. Though battered and forever changed, their spirit survives in stories told, in bonds rebuilt, and in the lessons carved into stone and memory. The collapse, though devastating, does not erase the people's identity. Instead, it marks a turning of the page, an invitation to reflect, rebuild, and carry forward hard-won wisdom into whatever future they might find. Chapter 5. Echoes Across the Ocean. As the story of Rapa Nui draws to a close, the Moai still stand silent sentinels over the island, their weathered faces gazing across grasslands and distant waves. The land has changed, carved by centuries of ingenuity, struggle, and adaptation. Now, as dusk settles, we pause to consider what has truly endured through the rise and fall of this extraordinary society. The Moai seem to echo the memory of ancient hands that shaped stone against wind and salt. Even as their creators faded into legend, the statues remain rooted, steadfast, and mysterious. Rapa Nui's landscape holds scarce the traces of deforestation and toil visible across soils and crumbling platforms, yet also an undeniable sense of resilience that has persisted into the present day. What lessons have the people of Rapa Nui left behind for us? Their story reminds us of both human brilliance and vulnerability. The Moai, grand in scale, are more than mere monuments. They are symbols of ambition, faith, and the unwavering desire to endure. The islanders adapted, celebrated, struggled, and through it all, their legacy endures in stone and memory. Rapa Nui's fate whispers of choices and consequences. The Moai, once markers of community and spiritual awe, witnessed forests vanish, topsoil erode, and lifeways transform under pressure. Yet, through collapse and change, the heartbeat of the island carried on. The people who remained found new ways to survive, weaving old wisdom and fresh ingenuity together amid challenge. These echoes across the ocean invite us to ponder our own histories and futures. Rapa Nui teaches us that even the grandest achievements are fragile, if not cared for wisely. The enduring stone faces remind us to look to the past with humility and to the future with hope, aware that every civilization carves its fate from the choices it makes beneath sun, wind, and stone. As we reflect on this island's legacy, we sense the quiet strength in its survivors. Families rebuilt homes, found sustenance in rocky soil, and retold stories under bright southern stars. The mystery of the Moai lent comfort and perhaps a warning. Rapa Nui calls us to remember the balance that sustains life and the ingenuity required to restore what has been lost. Today, the windswept fields of Rapa Nui hold secrets both old and new. Scientists still seek the truth of how the Moai were moved, and descendants keep ancient traditions alive, blending old beliefs with new realities. The landscape shows resilience. Green has slowly returned, and voices chant songs of remembrance, reverberating across hills unchanged for centuries. The enduring mystery of Rapa Nui is not only in stone, but in the spirit that refused to vanish. Each Moai is a silent guardian, holding an unanswered question in its expression. What hopes did its builders hold? What stories, now lost, may have filled the island's long nights? The ocean softly calls to those who listen, inviting us to consider what endures when all else fades. Looking upon the silent statues, we are left to quietly wonder. The Moai face inland, watching over the descendants of those who carved them. Their presence is a gentle challenge as well as a comfortable reminder to care deeply for what we inherit and to honour those who came before us. In their carved eyes, we glimpse both solemnity and resilience. Though some mysteries remain unsolved, Rapa Nui's spirit persists. The wisdom of adaptation and the bittersweet lessons of the past linger in each stone platform and windswept field. For every question that history does not answer, the island offers inspiration to marvel, to reflect, to wonder quietly about the futures we ourselves are shaping today. As dusk deepens and shadows lengthen across the island, the story of Rapa Nui settles softly into memory. The Moai look to eternity, their silence thick with meaning. The wind through grasses speaks of survival and change of people who thrived, stumbled, and found new ways forward. Their echoes stretch across the ocean, reaching out to all who will listen. With a final, contemplative gaze upon the stone faces and rolling fields, we close this chapter. Rapa Nui reminds us of the delicate line between legacy and loss, achievement and humility. The island's story, though ancient, still whispers across distant waves, inviting each of us to ponder the fate of all civilizations and what it truly means to endure.